Hey everyone, we are getting down to the phrase persona partners. Excuse me, sorry about that. I am just a little bit excited for this one for a certain flower spirit and being one of my favorites, not just for their personality and such a pretty care, but we are talking about Flappy and Choppy, the fairy partners of Saki Haguga and Mai Mishino of Futari wa Pedicure Splash Star. Let's start with Flappy. Flappy is a flower spirit that allows Saki Haiguga to transform into Care Bloom and later channels Moop's powers of the moon, allowing her to transform into Care Bright. He ends his sentences with Rappy, and he seems to have a crush on Choppy. Flappy first appeared in Season 3 of the Percure series for Futari wa Pedicure Splash Star. He debuted in Episode 1. He comes from the land of fountains, and his role is a mascot. Flappy's theme is flowers, and his theme color is blue. His VA is Kappei Yamaguchi, who I know personally as the Japanese voice of Teddy in Persona 4 of the Persona series. You can see why now I said that at the beginning. And in thumbnail/pic. Played in 2 image songs with Choppy, Saki, and Mai, Forever, Forever, Right in Gimbalad's The Dance. Flappy is very pale blue-white in color with sky blue markings in back, often appearing very dark red eyes. End of his tail is shaped like a flower, and he has a red-hot pink necklace with a golden yellow orb on it. His eyes have what could be thought of as petals, being the flower spirit and all, and the flower bud shaped on his forehead, the same thing as the shape on his tail. Flappy is a responsible fairy who is always willing to take charge. He is not afraid to speak his mind and is determined to accomplish any goal he has in mind or try to protect his loved ones. Although he and Saki sometimes bicker, he still supports her and will defend her when they are in a crisis. Despite this, Flappy is rather shy when it comes to confessing his feelings to Choppy. When his crush is being mentioned, he tends to get decisive and overreacts. Flappy lives with Saki and they get along very well, though they sometimes argue about random things. Flappy has a huge crush on Choppy, but he can never quite tell her. He shows he is not so suitable, hints and affectionate gestures, but she never picks up on. In the epilogue, it is implied that he finally managed to tell her how he feels in episode 49. Flappy comes from the word flower. In the first episode, Saki goes to the sky tree and bumps into Mai and Misha when they see 2 floating balls of light heading straight towards them. Said balls of light reveal themselves to be Flappy and Choppy, who inform the duo they had met in the past and now they must become Pedicure. They scold the girls multiple times for not remembering their first encounter in the first of the tree. Cardian then shows up, so Flappy and Choppy try to fight him alone, but they're beaten very easily, just as Cardian is ready to capture them. Saki and Mai defend the fairies and become Percure. Once Saki and Flappy get into an argument when Saki knows that Flappy slept on the clock, which results in her waking up late, she doesn't believe that Flappy has gotten ill recently, until she realizes that Flappy has indeed gotten a fever. When Flappy and Choppy get fled into the water by Moraramba, Saki quickly saves Flappy and Choppy from drowning. After Saki catches a cold, Flappy stays up just to look after her. The next morning, they later realize that Perone was the one who knocked it over the clock, so they were both forgave angry to Perone at the angry shot. Choppy is the bird spirit that allows Mai Mishino to transform into her egret and later channels Floop's powers of wind, allowing her to transform into Cure Windy. She always ends her sentences with Choppy. Choppy appeared in the third season of the Percure series. She debuted in episode 1 along with Flappy. She also comes from the land of fountains, and her role is mascot. Choppy's theme is birds, and her color is yellow. Choppy's VA is Miyu Mitsuki, who also known in Persona, but I'll talk about her later. Choppy is a pale yellow with light pink markings and bright blue-purple eyes, with a pink necklace around her neck with a small aqua teal orb. Her markings are pink, being a butterfly, and the eye markings also being often used as heart markings. Her ears are long with droop to the ground, and she also has a butterfly-shaped tail. Choppy is bashful and soft-spoken. When a fight occurs, she gets upset and begins crying due to being emotionally sensitive. She appears to be rather clueless about romantic subjects, particularly Flappy's confession attempts. Dear God, what is wrong with me? He doesn't realize that he is trying to confess to her until the end of the season. She is oblivious to Flappy's obvious crush on her. By the end of the series, she realizes Flappy's feelings and returns them. She lives with Mai and they get along very well. Mai never seems to have issues with Choppy except for one time when she broke Mai's mother's clay figurine. Choppy comes from Cho, an alternate reading for the word Tori meaning bird. In the first episode, Mai Mishino goes to the Sky Tree where she bumps into Saki Haigugu there. They see the two floating lights which bump into them and turn into Flappy and Choppy. The fairies inform the duo that they must become Percure and scolds the girls for not remembering that they have met 5 years ago in front of the same tree. Korean then shows up, so Flappy and Choppy try to fight him alone, but couldn't beat him, nearly getting captured. To protect them, Saki and Mai become Percure and defeat Korean. In episode 12, Choppy appears to be extremely homesick, but to avoid concerning Mai, she pretends that she is alright. It turns out that she has planned to run away and return to the land of fountains alone. Morwamba suddenly appears and tries to kidnap her with an Uzarina until she bites his hand and is loosened from his grip. Afterwards, Choppy admits that she really feels alone, but realizes that her friends are around her. She thanks them and promises to be more open with her feelings. Fact 1. Flappy really likes rice-based foods. Fact 2. He and Choppy are the first mascots to have an image song. Fact 3. The markings on Choppy's forehead look similar to a butterfly or a clover. Fact 4. Choppy along with Flappy are the second mascots who have a shape on the end of their tail, for Choppy being a butterfly or a clover similar to the markings on her forehead. And finally, Fact 5. Miyu Mitsuki, Choppy's voice actors, have passed away on October 27, 2015. So this one was full of Percure and usually, but also with Persona, that being Teddy and Chihaya no Mifune from the Persona series. And let's just say, when writing the script, which is what I'm reading to you in this video, or if you're reading it on Wattpad, because I also have this on Wattpad, my heart literally stopped when I found out that Mitsuki died. So yeah, really shocking. And this also makes me think a little bit more on the Healing Good movie crossover with the SPD5 Go-Go Girls robot of Splash Star. But enough of that. I really enjoy working on this part, and I hope you stick around, and I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching and reading. May Choppy rest in peace.